All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope we're all having a great start to our week and a happy Easter for those of us who celebrate. I personally do celebrate, so I'm about to start this one off by thanking the one and only Jesus Christ and God in heaven above. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and do what I do. I love it so much, and I'm so happy to be able to bring content to such amazing people. So thank you for that. And without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to try and make it reasonably fast today. I know we all got things to do. I got things to do. So let's get into this. All right. Top down on BTC. No nonsense. Looks really solid. Okay. We haven't quite gotten out of this little coiling we're doing with the EMAs, right? We really want these EMAs to start expanding, but it's just going to take some time. For now, things look really good. Any retests of this 8 EMA around 25K, that's going to be a buy for me. Okay. Cycle still coming up, got plenty of room to run. Comparatively to last cycle, when we were at this point cyclically was June 2020, and we ran all the way through 2021 basically. So still very early for this. And it won't necessarily do just like this. It's not a guarantee to just come up and then there's the top of the bull run. It could do something like 2019 where it came up, we had a nice echo bubble. Then we had some accumulation, and then after the Bitcoin halving was when things really heated up again. I think that's a lot more likely than just, running straight to new highs or something like that. Okay, so cycle still looks good. Momentum looks good. We are on the rise, but we're still trending below zero, which also lines up with my kind of 2019 thesis, excuse me. So, anyways, plenty of room to run, but, we want to see ourselves get back above 31, 32K to really get that expansion to mid 40Ks. And this is definitely my higher time frame target for this run before accumulation. I don't know if we're going to do, this or if we're going to retest down here first and then do that. But that is definitely the outlook I have. And then once tapping this, I think we'll do some kind of accumulation in here into the halving next year. And then we'll make new highs. That is my game plan all the way through 2024, right? So I think we'll run, 2, 3, maybe 4 more months this year. And then we'll probably sideways up until like February or March of next year. Maybe January, we'll get a good run up into the halving. And then post-halving, we'll get some kind of nuke accumulation. That's what happened back during the last 3 halvings. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing happen again, okay? But mid 40Ks still the target. Mid 20Ks on the downside is targets for buying. Going into the weekly, we have finally closed above all of our bearish EMAs as of a few weeks ago. And ever since then, it's just been chop, 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 chop. Longs get squeezed out, shorts get squeezed out over and over and over. No momentum in either direction. But I remain bullish. Sure, we could dip back down to this old support region here. We've got all the EMAs on the weekly on the rise now, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of demand down there. But if I had to pick a direction, I would still say more bullish than bearish. Cycle's still coming up, momentum still rising. Both of them are a little bit extended, so take that for what it is. But all in all, things are still looking really solid. Going down on the daily, it just shows exactly what we're talking about on the weekly, right? Shorts getting wrecked. Longs getting wrecked, everyone with their stops here stopped out, people with their stops here stopped out, over and over and over, chop, 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 chop. No direction either way. So I'm not really sure which we're going to see first, the daily bands or this general region, which is our next higher time frame level, around 32K-ish. I'm not sure which one we see next, and that's why I'm not really trading Bitcoin right now. I'm sticking to my guns and what I know, which is the low cap game. But if I had to pick a direction, I would say up. But if you get the pullback first, that's going to be a good one to bid, right? I think there's a really good potential for demand in here. If we go down to the 4 hour, we got both of our longer term moving averages rising up. We got the daily bands. We got the weekly 8 EMA here. And then we've got the monthly 8 EMA right below it. So all kinds of demand below us. I would be very surprised if none of that holds. So, I remain bullish from a higher time frame standpoint. And honestly, you know, the longer we stay in this range, the more bearish I see people getting. Like, everyone's targeting lower. Everyone is kind of a catch term. You know, obviously not everyone, but I see a ton of people that are targeting lower. And I really don't know which is the right direction, so I'm not playing either way right now. It reminds me a lot, honestly, of back in 2020, right? The post-halving. I mean, it looks very similar. This price action, right? Shorts wrecked, longs wrecked, and then just boredom over and over. Everyone's targeting lower. Everyone's targeting lower. And then when we finally break out, people are still assuming we're in the range and they're too scared to take the trade. And then we rip. They finally start to accumulate a position, and then we nuke and they puke it, and then we do the same thing over and over and over. I think that's very much what we're seeing here. Very reminiscent of that. And when we finally break out, most people are not going to want to commit to a position. And I'm not necessarily going to commit to a BTC position. I do think if we can take out like 28.5 to 29, I think we'll get that full breakout to 32. But I'm probably not long in BTC. I don't really have any money on centralized exchanges right now. I'm just sticking to my low caps. That's what I know. And of course, not all of them are going to work out. The goal is not really for all of them to work out. I mean, that'd be nice. But I go into it expecting, you know, a fair number of them to fail, either completely or at least miserably to some extent. But for the most part, going really well, and I expect them to continue doing well if BTC breaks out. I mean, bullish Bitcoin is bullish for the whole space, yeah? But, yeah, so that's the game plan, guys. If we get a dip down to 26.5, 25.5, I think it's worth a bid on BTC, and, you know, probably the same for Ethereum at like 1700, 1750, something like that. But if you're like me, all that means is another chance to buy your low caps cheaper. You know, if we nuke on BTC, someone's going to sell your favorite low cap at a discount, and you'll be able to buy at a discount. So that's the game plan. You know, maybe we break out right here. Maybe we keep consolidating for the 2-3 weeks. I'm not too sure. But I think within the next month, we're going to have our breakout one way or the other. All right, like I said, going to try and keep this short. Already at almost 10 minutes here. So the only high cap that I'm really interested in is stacks. And the only thing that worries me a little bit here is this weekly cycle is coming down. You know, we had a crazy run up from 20 cents to $1.40. So I'm not sure if this little pullback is all that we're going to get. But I will say we've perfectly retested the top of this previous BCI. We have perfectly retested the 8 EMA on the weekly. Monthly 8 is a little bit lower, around 70 cents. And the daily bands also just got perfectly tested, obviously, on the daily. So if we close this, this will be the first bullish engulfing setup since the peak. Right? So that might be a good long signal if you're a stacks enjoyer, and I am a stacks enjoyer. Now, that being said, I got some pretty good entries around this region last time on the low caps on stacks. So I don't think I'm going to be upping my exposure to this at all. But I do believe if you're looking for an entry here, this is probably the time, right? And then your risk is back below, you know, 75 cents. I would just cut it and, you know, see where we go from there. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm still holding all mine. I got a little Welsh Corgi, which is like the meme coin on there. I don't know if this will ever gain any traction, but it's the meme coin on Stacks. So Stacks blows up. I expect that to do well. Arcadico, this is like the, you know, the maker stablecoin protocol or whatever of this. They have, I think it's USDA or AUSD or something like that. Interesting project. I'm still up a bit on my entry, so I'm just going to hold that one for now. And then StackSwap, which is a decentralized exchange here, a cross-chain exchange too or something. I don't know. It seems pretty decent. Again, I got this one really cheap at like 3 cents. This was at like, I don't actually remember. I don't remember where I got Deco at. Maybe like 8 cents or 7 cents or something like that. Or it could have been 10. I can't quite remember. It's been a minute, but I'll have to look into that. Regardless, I'm holding these for now. I'd like some exposure to the Stacks ecosystem. So I'm going to be holding these until Stacks blows up based off the monthly chart. I mean, this is showing absolutely massive strength followed by indecision, which is, you know, pretty textbook, right? People are going to be chasing this volatility from the previous month and then nothing happens. So I expect that eventually this will end up and another fat pump, probably to new highs. I think this is going to be one that goes all the way through their highs. Maybe not this year, but definitely into next year. So I'm holding my little bags here for the long term. Oh, there it is, USDA, by the way. That's the stable coin of Deco or whatever. Anyways, on to low caps. So obviously, OXO, don't really need to say anything about this one. If you guys follow me, you know I'm all about it. But, I mean, come on. It could not be any simpler, right? Like, it's just bullish accumulation after bullish accumulation after bullish accumulation over and over and over, constantly making higher lows and probably soon higher highs. So I maintain a target of 10 cents. That would be around $100 million market cap. And well, I think we could blow through that. I mean, that's just going to be a natural take profit point for me and a lot of people. I'm in, and a lot of you guys are in on this from anywhere from 250K market cap to $1 million market cap. Some of you guys are a little bit later at 2 million, 3 million, whatever. But regardless, at $100 million market cap, my lowest buy will be up 400x and my average will be up 100x. Love the project or not, that's going to be a great take profit point for me, right? Because, you know, we're not necessarily in a full-blown bull market for BTC, right? You know, if we had to compare it to anything, I would compare it to the 2019 Echo Bubble, you know, which we could be in the middle of. But regardless, this is what I expect to follow after this bubble. You know, go up to the mid 40Ks, that's the game plan. And then, you know, maybe something like this, you know, until the halving. Obviously poorly drawn, but the halving is next May or something. So this could be a very realistic scenario. So I don't necessarily want to hold a bunch of these coins through this. At least on the ones that have blown up, you know, if they're only up 3 or 4x, that's fine, I don't mind. But if they're up 50 to 100x, a lot of those I'm going to take profit on pretty heavily. So my game plan, which I've already informed you guys of this early on, but since the beginning, my game plan was coming into a penny, take out my initial. And that's exactly what I did in here. Took out my initial, which had me stressing a lot less during these thick pullbacks. And then on the way up, anywhere from 7.5 to 10 cents, I'm going to start taking profits on maybe half of my size or something like that. And you might never even see it happen. I'm going to try, if I can find the opportunity, I'm going to try to OTC it. Because I'd love to be able to sell, you know, my bag, which is pretty big. I mean, I would hate to have to puke it on the market, but I will. You know, if that's the only way I can do it, obviously I'm going to sell on the market like everyone else. But I'd much prefer to do it OTC. So that's the game plan for now. And then whatever I leave, you know, half my bag or 60%, 70%, 30%, whatever, I'm going to see how this DEX launch goes. And hopefully I can start accruing some good ETH rewards going into next year. And then sell those ETH rewards from 5 to 10K at the end of the next bull market. That's the game plan. So, yeah, I might not strictly be saying as we're coming into my sell region, hey guys, I'm selling right now. I'm letting you guys know now. I'm going to be selling a big chunk there. Okay? And since, you know, having the size I have, it's a little bit tricky to get rid of that stuff. I'm not just going to be letting you guys know right before I'm selling. I'm going to come in, I'm going to sell. I'm going to come in the next day, maybe sell some more. And then when I'm done selling my 25, 30, 50%, whatever it is, I'll let you guys know that I've exited. Okay, so make sure before we break out the new highs that you guys have your own individual game plan for how you're going to play this. You know, if you're going to take off half on a 2x to new highs, great. That's your plan. If you're going to take off half at 5 cents and another half at 10 and 15, 20, great. That's your plan. I'm going to follow my plan, and I'm being as transparent as possible about it now. So I don't want to hear no nonsense later on, all right? But regardless, as far as the fundamental side of things go, they launched the DEX on Polygon this last week, you know, really just for testing purposes and whatnot. And they submitted their audit to Solid Proof. So, excuse me. Once that comes back with no problems or with some problems and they fix the problems, whatever it may be, they will then launch on mainnet, and that'll be basically the end of my Uniswap days. I plan on pretty much solely swapping on this, assuming that it works well and the fees are what they say they will be. it'll pretty much be the only way I swap from here on out. Completely private. I don't care to have anyone knowing what I'm doing. The only people that need to know what I'm doing are you guys, and I'll be publicly, transparent about that, as I always have been. So that's the gameplay for OXO. Okay, what am I at? 15 minutes. I'm trying to keep this under 20. Ush, been an absolutely killer play the last month. Talked about this at the end of March from 15 to 20 cents. Got a really nice 200% move out of it. Took some profit on the way up to fund BL's party, which has been pretty fucking underwhelming. I mean, kind of what you expect from a super hyperinflationary project. But anyways, took some profits on that, secured initial and some gains. Still holding like... let me think about this. I'm still holding like 75% of the bag or something like that. Still holding a majority of mine because I think this is going to make a higher low at some point. Sorry about that. I'm not sure exactly where. Based off the daily, the low end of this BCI is around 35 cents. So I would expect somewhere around 30 to 35 cents to be the next higher low. I don't think I'm going to be adding to this. I'm pretty happy with the size I've got on now. But I don't think this is over by any means. I just think it needs some time to cool off. I mean, not only did it go, several 100% from our entry, but, in February, it was trading for 2 cents. And it hit 60 cents. So, that being said, if you look at the volume up here, $1,000, $300, $500, most people are not in from this range. Very little bit of money is still in from this range. Those guys probably sold on the way up anyways. But, we just can't not acknowledge that from the lows, it's up, 10,000%. The actual low is under a penny. But, anyway, so I think this is still a very great project. Ignore the market cap here. I think this is like, I don't even know if it's $10 million market cap right now. I think it's about, it's probably about $10 million market cap right now. So I think going into the Shanghai upgrade for Ethereum, all these LSD coins are going to go on some killer runs. So better to get the pullback now than later, right? Because if we can do this, ABC or whatever now, and then we get the upgrade hype going, I mean, we can see this above $1. And that's been the game plan from the start. So I still believe that's going to be the case. Next one, Whisper. Not too much to say about this. It's my only real exposure on ZK Sync. I think this is really the only legitimate low cap that I've seen on there. Excuse me. So this is actually half the market cap, the market cap that's circulating is half of what we're seeing here. So around 750K market cap right now. I am in from down here around an average of like 6 to 7 or 0.006 to 0.007. So up about a 2x right now. Not too bad. But I'm looking for well over a 10x from here. I'd like to see this, I'd like to really not start selling until 15 to 20 cents. I have some extremely high expectations for this, assuming that ZK Sync starts to get some interest. Because right now, let's say you decide you want to go trade on ZK Sync, get some exposure, I want to get prepared for an airdrop, whatever it may be. Your only real options are to bridge your Ethereum over and then buy Mute, the main exchange on there, or I think Zigzag is an exchange too, right? Maybe they have a token, I'm not sure, but those tokens for the exchanges are 30, 40, $50 million market cap. And the only other stuff on there is ZK Dog, ZK Inu, ZK Your Mom Gay, like ZK blah, like just garbage, let's be honest. Versus Wisp, right? Which is going to be a big DeFi suite. They're going to have a bunch of different tools and stuff you can do. Maybe sort of like Aave or something like that. But it's going to be really good. I mean, it's really the only good thing on ZK right now. And it's also the only project aside from Mute where when you load up the Mute decentralized exchange, you don't have to paste the contract address. It's already in the exchange as a base token, showing that Mute clearly has some faith in them and that considers them a good project. Or else they would not just say, because if you for most of these shit coins up here, if you go paste a Viper into Uniswap, it's going to warn you, hey, this is not a base token of Uniswap. Hope you understand the high risk that we don't know what this token is, blah, 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 blah. Versus Wisp, Mute is basically fully backing it with their $50 million market cap, So they're saying, hey, you don't have to worry about Mute, or you don't have to worry about Whisper. It's a trusted project from us. We know these guys are legit. So for me, that's more than enough. I'm going to keep holding for much higher than this. If you guys remember bull markets, dude, I know we're not in one yet, but even in the echo bubble, 750K market cap is a bottom, not a top. In any way, shape, or form is 750K market cap a top. Okay? So I'm holding this at least until 10 million, which again, this would be 20 million for this, which is over a 10x from here. So plenty of upside there. I really like it. I think if you get any dips, they're for buying. Don't be like this guy selling his whole entire $1.1 million bag, not $1 million, 1.1 million coin bag in one go. It's just not going to be worth it. You're going to miss out later on. Moving on. Party. Oh, yeah. Bob Laxative's new game or whatever. I don't know. This is how it goes, right? This is why I only threw in a little bit of money, less than 1% of the account. Because these things can be complete memes. I mean, you have, 1,000%, 5,000% APY. And then Bob comes in and says, hey, I know I made like 700 Ethereum off the fucking, what is it? The pre-sale or whatever, the donation. I know I made 700 or 1,000 Ethereum off that, but I'm going to sell another 70 Ethereum for marketing and funding the dev team. Like, bro, what are you talking about? You have 1,000 Ethereum. You don't need that much to fund a dev team. Maybe 200K in a year, like max. I mean, come on. So, I don't know. It might be completely dead. I'm just going to see where it goes. It was a small amount of money for me. I'm okay to hold it, see if it goes. There's more APY coming, blah, 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 whatever. And supposedly, he set it up to be initially distributive with high APY and then deflationary afterwards. So who knows? I mean, maybe when the bull market gets crazy, this shit will go up. It could just be toast. I don't know. I mean, a penny to 4 cents, back to a penny. This is below donation price. It looks pretty garbage. I would not buy into this now by any means. But if you're still in with me, I don't know. I'm holding on. I'm going to stick with pool 3, get all the APY until it's done in like 2 weeks or whatever. And then we'll see where we're at then. I might be worth $5 in my bag. Maybe it'd be worth $5,000. I'm not sure, but I'm holding on for dear life. I don't know where it's going. But it was all a meme anyways, That's why I didn't put that much money into it. Diya. Oh, this is definitely becoming one of my favorite bags up there with Whisper. And in the same light as Whisper, it's also only half the market cap shown here. So I believe around $600,000 right now for the entire project. And they've got some pretty sick tools, man. I mean, the most important right now is the Volume Hunter, where if you hold, a certain amount of Diya, I don't remember what it is. I think it's top 30 holders get the premium Volume Hunter bot in Telegram. But I'm in there, and they are pretty impressive. They caught something recently with the US Doge, maybe. I think it was US. I'll look at it in a second. We'll know. Yeah. I think this is it. It caught US Doge, like, right here with the Volume Hunter. And then it proceeded to go on an absolutely massive, 160x or whatever run. Maybe that was 15. I can't quite do 15. Is that 15,000? Yeah, 150x run after being caught on Diya's Volume Hunter. So pretty damn impressive. And they've got more than just this project in there. There's like 10 projects in there, whatever. But super impressive stuff. And not just the tech, but the accumulation is really pretty. I bought my first clip in here. And then I bought some more on the way up. And then I've accumulated some more at the low end, 75 to 90 cents in this range. So my average is probably somewhere a little under 70 cents, maybe like 65 or something like that. And just like Whisper, I'm planning to hold this one for a while, man. At least a $10 million market cap. And it's only 600K right now. So we're talking a 10 to 20x from here. At least for my target. There's no guarantee it goes all the way there. But that's what I'm looking for to really sell a big piece of my bag. So, anyways, moving on. I'm going to try and keep up the pace here. I'm already at 24 minutes. Nerf is an AI project. They basically take 2D images or something and they turn them into full 3D videos that you can look at. It's pretty crazy stuff. $1 million market cap. Chart looks really good. Ideally, we'd like to see it staying above like 80 cents, the low end of this range from February. Right? So I have a bag. I'm holding my bag for much higher. We'll see what comes from this. It looks pretty good. Not my favorite project, but really cool tech-wise. I'm just not sure what the use case of the token is, but the tech is actually some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. Turning an image into a full video. I mean, it's actually crazy. If you haven't, and maybe it doesn't sound as cool when I say that, but if you haven't seen the stuff they're doing, I would highly encourage you to check it out in their Telegram or something. It is crazy, the tech they have working. Revest, still a project I really like what they're doing. It's just the biggest problem is, look at this. The last 24 hours, 9 transactions, 22K volume. There's just no one interested in this right now. Nobody really knows about it. But I will say the liquidity is very nice. $1 million liquidity, that's what I've always said with this project. Really nice liquidity. So if you want in, you can get in. If you want out, you can get out. Just be very careful with this project. I've noticed a lot of MEV bots running. Like, every time I try and buy or sell, I get front run. Every single time. I don't know if they're just watching my wallet or if they're watching anyone that buys Revest, but it's really freaking annoying. So keep your eyes on that. I think it's a good project. I think it's going to go up dramatically in the coming year. But right now, there's just no interest in it. But I am accumulating. I have a small bag in here that I bought, you know, at 3.5 or whatever. And if we come back down to the 2s, I'm probably going to double my size. It's nothing crazy, you know, probably 2 to 4% of my account. And I'm going to hold on. I think it's going to be a good project going into the bull run. But for now, there's just not that much interest. So I wouldn't be in a rush to buy this one. Bird's Nest. All right. Hoot. This is one of the projects inside of the whole Quam, Childhood's End ecosystem. You know, I don't keep up that much with it ever since I was in it big last year for Shibarium launch, but there's a chance the ecosystem survives. If you haven't been paying attention, Caw has actually been on a killer run the past like month or two, going from the lows around 35 to almost 1,000. So the ecosystem could very much be alive. I think this is the first DEX on Quam, which is like this layer 2 or some shit like that. I don't really know exactly, but one of my buddies told me about it. I thought it looked pretty cool. I bought in end of March in like this general range, so I'm basically break even right now, a little bit underwater even. I don't know. I'm just holding it. I think I actually sold like a little piece for party or something yesterday, but I don't know. I'm not super excited about it, but I think it's worth holding on to, so I'm going to be holding on to it. And then the last two I have to talk about are Viper DAO, which is, I guess, riding the hype of Viper Lang, which is a new programming language, I believe. Supposedly an upgraded version of Solidity, which is what Ethereum runs on. I've seen Vitalik talking very positively about Viper Lang, so I know he likes the tech. As far as the actual token goes, I'm not sure what the use case is, but it's the only token related to Viper Lang. And if people say it's the next Ethereum, it's the next Solidity, whoa, then they're gonna rush to Vipe to buy whatever is related to it. Much like Bard, you know, people start talking about Google Bard. You know, well, I actually, you know, would say most of this is because BitLord was shilling it. But regardless, people hear about Google Bard. They want to go look, is there any Bard crypto I can buy? And they buy the first one they see, and that was this. Same thing for Viper Lang. This is the only token around that has anything to do with it. So, yeah. So I bought in the piece. This is my candle here. This big boy, although I'm not all of it. I'm like, you know, I bought around from like 1,000 to 1,800 or something. So I'm up maybe like a 2x right now, but I mean, look at it. 300K market cap. I'm not touching this until it's 20 or 30x from here. Right? I want this chart to look like this, you know, by the time I'm selling. Just like OXO, you know, I want it to look like this when I'm getting ready to sell, or like this. I don't even want to see the darn candles. Okay? So not touching that one anytime soon. Very much a zero or hero play for me. And the last one I added recently was Nvidia. They're doing some really cool stuff like Nerf. There's very little information about them right now in the market, but I will keep you guys posted as soon as I can get any more information. I bought in over multiple days. I think I first bought in right here, and then I added some more in like here and a little bit more over here. So I'm pretty much maxed out size on this one. It's nothing crazy, but for a 250K market cap, 60K liquidity coin, I've got as much as I want to have. So Same as the other ones, not touching it until it looks like this. I do want to note that I believe right now there's a pretty disgusting 20% sell tax to sell this. So do not get in if you're trying to get out anytime soon, right? Only put in what you're willing to risk to zero because it's going to be a bitch to sell. But I have seen some talks with the team that they're considering lowering that or removing that altogether, but who knows if they'll do it or not. But like I said, I'll keep you guys posted. And yeah, that's really all I got for today. 30 minutes. Hopefully everyone's got 30 minutes to watch this in the coming days because you know, I like people to know what I'm doing, what's going on. But you know, regardless, I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful Easter. Looks like we're getting a little bit pumpy on BTC for Easter, so that's pretty exciting. And yeah, trade safe, be smart. Thank you, Jesus, once again for such an amazing opportunity. I pray that everyone is safe today and has a wonderful experience with their friends and family. So, to that, I leave you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.